either he looks great and they win and okay, Brock's back, or if he has any sort of a poor performance, then it's going to get loud. Can you perform at full Brock Purdy level? It sounds like he feels like they're ready to do that. Surgery was never an option. He did not run from the idea that, he still feels it, and that's just life in the NFL, but also seemed to have kind of a little bit of a quiet confidence about where he is physically right now, and I think that's what a lot of people have been hoping for. It's not so much are you out there pain-free, but it's are you out there, can you perform at full Brock Purdy level? It sounds like he feels like they're ready to do that.
Yeah, and just a turf toe variant, too.
They used that word
he
again.
did,
Yep.
which I get it. And, the true turf toe, I don't know if it's just one ligament and the variant is part that ligament and part another one. I don't have enough knowledge on turf toe, even though I'm a radio doctor, to know what the turf toe variant is. And I liked his answer about, was it a bad idea to go out there against Jacksonville? And he said, no, I just got caught and my toe got caught into a bad spot. And that's the way that happened. So could it happen again? Absolutely. Sure. His toe could get caught in the exact same spot where his toe is on the ground and he gets pushed over from behind and it folds underneath his body weight, and that could be it for the year. You just never know in this game. But the fact that it's been so long, I can't help but think that the toe will be more resistant to a re-injury more than it was against Jacksonville.
I think that's important to sort of like what you're talking about there. It's kind of important to bring to light this idea, because Kyle Shanahan sort of insinuated over the last couple of weeks that playing him against Jacksonville wasn't the right thing to do. And so that leads to that question, was it a mistake? And he firmly says no. When you see him floating balls against Jacksonville like he did, I don't know this, but I'm under the impression that's after the re-aggravation. Not necessarily like, oh, you shouldn't have played him because look what he looks like. As opposed to, no, he looks like that because he got hurt again. And should he have come out? Maybe, but here's something that I don't ever hear anyone talk about that I have heard from the sort of inside voices at the 49er facility. Mac Jones was really hurt that week.
Yeah.
And in fact, they deemed him as more hurt than Brock. So the two questions are, right, should you have played Brock? Brock says, I felt good going. And then you say, okay, but now you've re-injured it and you're floating balls. Well, why didn't you go to Mac Jones in that point? Well, Mac Jones was really, really hurt, apparently, at that time. So, look, it's ancient history now. They took a shot. It didn't work out. I think they were much more conservative this time around. So now it's go time again. And we can all have our feelings about it. And I know that most people will just sort of like, you got to keep your feelings until after the game and kind of cherry pick this thing, which is either he looks great and they win and okay, Brock's back, or if he has any sort of a poor performance, then it's going to get loud. And that's life. There's no avoiding that.
Right.
That's the way. But for me, I love that the 49ers, because Ricky Pearsall, if you haven't heard, is also in. I can't remember. It must have been the Super Bowl season almost. The last time the 49er offense at least entered a game on paper looking this strong in terms of health.
Yeah.
Everybody's in.
Well, I'm thinking about when McCaffrey came back, you already had Ayuk who was out, and a couple of those games, I know the Green Bay game, you didn't have Brock Purdy, and
Right.
so by the time you got to Buffalo, which is when McCaffrey got hurt, you didn't have Ayuk because he'd already gotten hurt, and then you had Brock Purdy back, but then McCaffrey got hurt. So, you're back, and then now you're hurt, and McCaffrey missed the opener. We were down there outside the stadium, and the news broke about 90 minutes before kick that he wouldn't play. So kind of an up and down and on and off. I'm looking at the injury report. A couple things did pop up that might be a little troubling. Diamador Lenore popped as limited with a calf. It was not listed on the injury report.
No.
And you had D. Winters, who is still limited, and he's listed as knee.
Yeah, he's both knees.
Both knees, and he actually hasn't been playing great, but
Correct.
You don't have many other linebackers who can play as mediocre as he has played. And the only other one is Alfred Collins with a hip. He's still limited, so just some ones to keep an eye on. But again, this week, your injury report is shorter than your opponent.
Way
Second
shorter.
straight week.
Way shorter. Yeah, the Cardinals are really banged up, especially on offense. And, of course, the headliner there, Marvin Harrison Jr., is out. They're listing Kyler Murray as out. Obviously, he's on IR. I think
He's
want
not
him
even
out.
listed among their 18.
Yeah, so
nor is Zay Jones because he's on IR as well.
Yeah, they're on IR.
But they've got 18 players who are listed on their injury report.
No, they're banged up,
and that's not even including the two you just mentioned. And Marvin Harrison, appendicitis, he is definitely out.
Correct. Yeah, no, the Niners have a group that they should take advantage of, but their defense is still not that great. And so I still maintain the Cardinals are dangerous because we can this, that, the other about who's good at quarterback. They're not playing any good quarterbacks over the next month and a half. That's all true. But we've watched this before. If you don't rush an NFL quarterback, even a bad one will throw a good ball over the middle of the field and beat you. And so we'll see. We'll see. That pass rush is going to have to be better than it was against the Rams. But at least the Niners offensively now, they'll throw some firepower at the Cardinals in the other direction. You'd love to see the Niners be able to be multifaceted, run the ball, throw the ball, put up 30 points. To me, that's the game plan this week or what you'd like to see. Is it within the realm of possibility that and I don't think they're going to make up injuries again because that's dangerous because what if they would want him to come back again
Well, that's
the
what
next
Arizona's
week?
doing with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, but the difference there is, though, that Arizona doesn't want Kyler Murray to be their quarterback anymore.
No.
Yeah, the 49ers want Brock Purdy to be their quarterback, obviously. So, would they pull him in favor of Mac Jones? To me, that depends on how bad he looks. Brock Purdy is allowed to go out and make a mistake, just like Mac Jones or any other player. I don't think I'm not going to play it this way. It's not fair to ask any player to go out and be like, if you make one mistake, we're yanking you.
No, not a quarterback who you're about to pay $53 million a year to.
Not anybody.
Well, if you're a guy who's a tenuous guy who maybe doesn't have his job, like Spencer Rattler. Okay, enough Rattler. Let's see Shuck for a while.
Right, but it's not just QB. Go back to Jonathan Kuminga, week 1, game 1 against the Lakers. I did not love, and the Warriors did not love his shot selection in the first half. They didn't yank him. And then he had a great second half.
82 is different than 17.
It is. Football is different than basketball, but I just think that's true across the board. You don't put anyone in if they are one mistake away from getting yanked out of the game. Now, if he throws 3 picks and you're down by 7 in the fourth quarter, maybe, but I don't like.
Well, think about the Baltimore game on Christmas. He threw, I think, 4 picks. And
might have even been 5.
Well, the team threw 5.
Yeah.
I think he only threw 4 of the 5, but you got late in that game and you probably weren't going to win, so you took him out. You didn't bench him.
Yeah,
you took him out before it got really, really, really bad. I think that if you go to Arizona and he looks bad and they lose, he still starts the next week.
I agree.
It would take multiple successive bad performances and losses, I think, before you made this sort of a move.
Yeah, I think really bad play. Not a mistake, not even 2 mistakes. I mean wow, the quarterback looks awful kind of a thing.
And looks rusty and, you know, 3 picks. And, God, we would have won this if the quarterback wasn't so bad.
Right.
You would need multiple of those games, in my opinion, because you're 6-4. It's not like you are, 8-7, and you need to win both. If you need to win both these games and he comes out and he looks really bad for a half, then you might make a move, because if it's a double must win, then you're going to be a little bit more urgent.
I agree with you. However, I will say this. Really, in the whole layout of the way things are going the rest of the year, I think I can make the case that this is the biggest game left. I think I can make that case.
Yeah.
And here's why. I happen to think that this Cardinal team is more dangerous than the Panthers the following week.
That's fair.
More dangerous than the Titans in 3 or 4 weeks.
For sure. This
is a division game. This is you clinching a winning record in the NFC West if you win this game. This launches you to 7-4 with a favorable schedule coming up over the month that follows it. If you lose this one, you truly do fall into a spot where you could get wild card trapped. If they win this football game, I believe that there is no stopping the 49ers from double-digit wins, and they would be very likely to get a playoff spot at the end of the year. So I think in this moment, this is the one, which makes it interesting that they're turning things back over to their starting quarterback at this time. I can't eliminate, like as you said, Chicago will be interesting late in the year. They might be fighting their playoff lives. They might be. They might not be. I know they're 6-3. I'm very mindful of the schedule the rest of the way for these teams. The Niners obviously have a favorable one. Look at Chicago. They're at Minnesota this weekend. Then they get Pittsburgh. Then they go to Philly. Then they go to Green Bay. Then they get a Green Bay and Detroit at the end of the year as well. Their schedule is a gauntlet. I don't think that Chicago's going to get 4 more wins. I think the Niners are going to fly by Chicago. Carolina is 5-5, not a threat. So it's all there for them. It's all there for them if they win the games they're supposed to win, and this is one of them.
Yeah, there's 5 of them left, honestly. And if you look at Indy and Seattle, those are teams that have been better than you, and those are going to be tough games. But if you go 5-2, you wind up 11-6, and
really good.
Yeah, you're in a super spot. You might be the 6 or 7 seed, but who cares? You're in the dance.